Welcome to Wisco Dice. Hey yo folks, it is the Conesy with most. I am here for episode 3. Holy cow, I've done 3 consistent episodes of the new stuff. I guess that's what it's called. It's whatever. See a few of you guys out there watching. If you like this show, make sure that you leave comments, let me know, and make sure you share it. Get it out there on social media. Share it with your buddies. Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Let folks know. The more folks that we see watching this show, the more folks, or the more interest I'm going to have to do it. It's sponsor free. I'm not getting money out of it. It's just for you to kind of share my thoughts on all the new stuff I get. And I do get, as you've seen, a lot of new stuff. So what has Conesy gotten now? So this is kind of a special episode of the new stuff because we've got Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We're basically unboxing it for you right now. All I've done since I've got it is taken it out of the shrink wrap and made sure that the box opened. That's pretty much it, so I could have a pretty camera shot. So I haven't looked at really any of this stuff. This is going to be my first time looking at it. I'm going to go over it with you in real time. Now, of course, I've played a game of Age of Sigmar and put up my thoughts up on the blog at wiscodice.com about that first game, what I thought, what worked, what didn't work, what was enjoyable about it, what wasn't quite so enjoyable about it, and what things kind of I felt, and I think everybody knows at this point, there feels like there are a number of gaps in the rules that just don't quite. It's there, and if you had somebody that actually knew the rules, they'd probably fill in the blanks, and you'd be like, okay, that's just the way we play it. But I think it's going to end up without a better rule set from Games Workshop, or some samples of video or something where Games Workshop is very explicitly saying this is the way the game plays, or an FAQ to some of these things. Which is kind of crazy. 4-page rule book needs FAQ. But we're really in the dark on a few interesting rules that I think need to be defined. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this Age of Sigmar box and see what's actually in it. So, go ahead and, first thing you know, cool old school art on the box cover. Everybody's kind of seen this already. I mean, you can go to the GW website, you see the box, you see the models at this point, but cool box. Yay. Back of the box, I should know. Lots of coolness too. Basic, hey, woo, buy this box. It's expensive. And now I've made a mess. So, let's talk about what we got here. So we've got new range. They said, hey, you get these range measurers things. These are not the old wacky sticks. Well, they still could whack, but it's a molded plastic. Yeah, without doing anything to it, it's already warped from the box. That's not really good. I've got tape measures. Who cares about those? Bases. Transfers. I'm not sure what we're transferring these little Sigmars to, these little twin-tailed comets to, and moons and stars and lightning bolts. But apparently they think there's enough surface area that they needed to give us decals, so okay. Maybe there'll be some freehand opportunities. Of course, the dreaded round bases. This is just some of them. There's a whole other bag of them. There are a couple of round bases that are just floating around loose inside this box. I'm sure they're for some models. Now, I've seen the Age of Sigmar guy. I actually have him built. I took a picture of him, put him up on the couple of places on the web. And he was, I mean, I'm not real keen on Space Marines. I'll be the first guy to say, I don't care for Space Marines. Yes, I have a Chaos Marine army. Yes, I have some Ultramarines painted up, because if you've done 40k for any amount of time, you will quickly realize that you'll end up with a pile of Space Marines. However, these new guys, who are about the size of a Terminator for 40k, if you're needing a reference point for size, I'm just not super keen on the model. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not great models, but there seems to be a lack of there's good detail on the models, but there seems to be a lack of the kind of details like, how does this guy put this armor on? How does he take it off? How does he go to the bathroom? Does he sleep in this stuff? I don't know. So the Sigmarines, I guess is what they're not really called that. They're the Sigmar faction in this box is I'm not super dope on it. I'm not excited about it, but the model quality is good. It's a very high quality model, very pretty, very decent detail. If you like that aesthetic, then if you like the aesthetic of Space Marines, then you'll probably love these guys. Me, I'm kind of on them overall. Now the Chaos models, I saw the pictures online, like I'm sure a lot of you did, and I'm just looking at some of the Chaos models on this sprue, and it looks like there's several of them. So you have a Sigmar side and a Chaos side, and these guys I'm much more into. I think the detail, these guys look like normal. They look like they're on par with the current Marauders as far as size. Really, the models, the look of the figures. Okay, I'm not sure if I guess if all you do is kill for the Blood God, maybe you'd be packing that kind of pectoral muscles, but maybe the musculature looks, like, where's the flabby guy? I'm a flabby guy. Not everybody is Mr. Universe Super Bodybuilder of the Year. And again, basically the same sprue, it looks like. So some sword and shield guys, and some of those angelic wings, and more chaos guys. And now we have a different sprue. This one's got apparently the big chaos monster thing that comes in this box. Yeah, I think that's cool. Lots of skulls, I expect that for Cornate type stuff, and really honestly GW stuff. More chaos guys. This sprue looks like it's all chaos, all of it. There's no Sigmar stuff on that one at all. Next sprue. Not least, there's still another sprue of stuff, but this one looks like it's pretty much chaos characters, and then maybe the Sigmar guy, the guy that's on the Draculist or whatever the heck that Thundercat or Dragon Kitty or whatever the heck it is, and then the chaos guys. I think the two chaos characters are probably built from this other side. Wow, look at the size of that corn totem. That is huge. Like, just to give you a reference, that's my thumb. That's the corn symbol. Thumb, corn symbol. That is huge. And last sprue in the box. So we have, I think these are the Great Weapon Guide bits, more wings. So that's the third set of wings. Parts of the flyers, some more parts and pieces. This looks like it's the Sigmar standard bearer guy. Lots of, just good bits. Now, I'm just not even keen. Like, that's Sigmar's banner. The detail is super good. I mean, like this back side, they got the scrolls. You can get the print of the writing on it and stuff, so you don't have to hand paint any of that in. Some of these shields, it's all there. This scroll work here, it's all printed with text on it, so it should be really easy to paint and then throw a wash on it if you're a beginner, and have it look good. But yeah, I'm just not digging those models. Sorry, that's just not. All right, what else we got? We got another base in here. Haha, more bases. Another one of those weird ovals. I don't know if this is new to Age of Sigmar. This is an interesting base. It says Games Workshop 2013 copyright, so they've apparently had that out maybe for a while. Dice, the obligatory evil white dice. These things will either love you or hate you. I seem to have found. For me, it's usually a love relationship. Of course, if you need dice, shoot us an email at hosts@wiscodice.com, and we'll be happy to get you a quote for the world famous now Wisco Dice. Yes, we've shipped these things even internationally. We don't sell you the dice. You get dice as our reward for sponsoring the show. So, last thing in the box before I'm out of box, and I've already got bits falling off or broken off the sprue, is this pack. So this is still in the shrink wrap. I haven't even opened it up. So we're going to have to try to open this right here on the show. And maybe we got some keys here that'll help. Just need to get this started. Okay, got her started. Keys out over here. They're out of the way. Rip this shrink wrap right out of there. Okay. More shrink wrap. Okay, so they said we get card sheets for our rules. These are the same rules. It looks like verbatim that were online. There's nothing fancy here. It is. And they said card sheets. I was hoping for something maybe a little thicker card, like They used to give you these cool card like rules handouts where the rule summaries for the game, and it was really just a 2-page handout. You go way back to 5th. I can't remember if they had one in the 6th ed box, but I know they had one in the 5th, and it was a nice thick card handout. This is not the case. This is really the thickness of the card that they used for their paperback cover. So good rules, handy. But if you don't protect these, you throw those in your backpack or whatever, you're going to get them mangled in a hurry. What else do we have here? We have basically an assembly guide, it looks like. In case you can't figure out how to put the models together, you do have an assembly guide that shows you how to put together every single figure that's in this kit, which is cool. You know, I think as the kits get more complex, these assembly guides, even for an old hat modeler that's been in the hobby for years and years and years, it's really necessary. So, yeah. And then a full picture on the back of what every single model is. So, I think that's a great kit here, a great piece of this kit. Last but not least, probably the single component in this set that has the most rumor hub-de-bub about it, and that's the 96-page book that comes with it. So what we look at here, it's got, first off, you know, open it up, it's got a great picture of the models that come in the kit, an introduction. Let's go through the table of contents. That'll get us a good idea of what's in this thing. So they have the introduction, which talks about the background fluff of the game. Storm Made Flesh on page 20. I'm not sure what that is. Blades of the Blood God. I'm going to guess that that's all fluff content. That's at least historically how GW kind of lays out their books. Then we get into the pageantry of war, and this is they have 4 little sub-chapters on this: the Stormcast and Turtle Storm hosts, painting the hammers of Sigmar, warbands of Khorne, and then painting the Gortides. So I think that's going to be more material just going into, okay, now that you got the box, here you've read the fluff, you're psyched up to play the game, let's make it pretty on the table. Here's how you kind of build it, assembly guides and painting guides, which is good in a newbie's guide to getting you into the game. Fire and Thunder, forging your own legends. So this looks like it's going to be, just looking at these scenarios, Sigmar's Vengeance, No Quarter, Darkening Sky, Indomitable, Storm Breaks, Reign of Death, Death Knell. That seems like that's probably scenarios. The Battle Unleashed. I'm not sure what that is. The Legends of War. It's War Scrolls. It's going to be all your War Scrolls that come with this kit. Hints and tips. That'll be interesting if they have any hints or tips on what they think. And then War Scroll Battalions. So they've got, if you remember the freebie rules that are on the GW website, they have these kind of at the end of the lists, special like formations. That's what these are. War Scroll Battalions are basically formations. Wonder if you're going to see in the future from Games Workshop, when a new faction comes out, they're going to sell you a box. And probably be coming in, $200, $250. It'll be, that's a battalion, and then or that's a War Scroll battalion. It'll have everything that you need in the box to field the battalion as written into the War Scroll for that faction. So let's take a little bit of a look at the scenarios real quick. So if I flip to page 50, flip. Excellent camera time here. Fire and Thunder. One of the things I'm going to have noticed right away. Big pictures, lots of color, great color pictures on pretty good paper. Good enough for a beginner set. It's not. I have the collector's edition 8th Ed Warhammer rulebook, which is amazing, and everybody that sees the thing is always like, "Oh, what's that? What's that?" So it's kind of cool owning it. And the quality on that is amazing. But for a starter, I wouldn't expect the same kind of quality that I would get with one of my old Army books from 8th Ed or Codex currently for 40K. I'd expect something that's going to explain to me how to use the game, how to play the rules, and that after I've played a few games, whoop, I don't need this thing anymore. And that's exactly what this is. So Forging Your Own Legends looks like it's talking about, hey, play all these scenarios in the game in this book, and it'll teach you how to play the game. Sigmar's Vengeance. That section actually talks about how to read the scenario, the armies, the battlefield. So it's actually telling us in each one of these scenarios that then has like a page of fluff, and then a battlefield, solo game rules. So, like this first scenario, if you just got this box, you got your models put together, solo game. You build what it tells you to put together here. You need the Lord Celestin on Dracoth, so you need the big guy for that, and then you need the Gortide consists of the Bloodstoker and then Korgoth. So you're basically using 3 models to teach yourself the game. Get your setup. It's got a 24 by 24 inch board. It's got some hints and tips here on how to play it. It's straightforward. Solo game rules so that you can play it by yourself. That's pretty cool. Then we go into the Darkening Side, Sky. One of the things, too, that's kind of neat is, like, this No Quarter, if you're a game store and you just want to give somebody a feel for the game, with Warhammer before, you needed 20, 30 models on the board and like a 4x4 section of space to kind of maybe not that much space, maybe but a decent amount of space to demo the board with terrain and whatever. You could do this on a counter, on your game store counter, to teach somebody and show somebody how the basics of the game goes. Okay, look here, you're interested in that, you're looking at it on the shelf, and I could teach with a couple of War Scrolls. I could have my any of my store employees with a hair of coaching, I could have them up and going and be able to get that. So from the direction of getting somebody into this game, this kind of stuff is great. I really love seeing it. The Darkening Sky, another kind of beginner scenario. This one has 3 prosecutors, including the Prosecutor Prime, which I think is the champion or something for that squad. And then you get 20 Blood Reavers. So here you get units. So you're using units with a little more options, and it's a little bit bigger battlefield, and some interesting things there. Then you get the Indomitable. You just keep adding more models and more models to each one of these scenarios, which is cool. Each one of the boards gets a little bit different size, So you went from that 24 by 24 inch board. Here you go to a 24 by 48 board. Here you go. Here we have another 24 by 24 board. Here we have a 24 by 48. We're not getting huge. Finally, a 48 by 72, a standard 4 by 6. where the Reign of Death, where we're using everything in the kit. It looks like. So yeah, in the Death Knell, here we have one player commands the hammers of Sigmar, so here we have everything as well. However, in the Death Knell, you're free to include additional models. So this is a cool one. If your buddy bought a starter set and you bought a starter set and you swap models, which a lot of gamers do, guess what? Now you could use all of your chaos while your buddy got to use all of his Sigmar guys. So that would be cool. The Battle Unleashed. So here we have more beautiful pictures telling us about the models, telling us the fluff. Showing here, we actually have some pictures of other armies, so some Vampire Counts, some Nurgle, which is cool. Like here, I'm seeing Vampire Count stuff, and this all really looks like the Vampire Counts we currently have. They're just on round bases, which is interesting, but cool. More here we have some Skaven stuff, and this all looks pretty much like the current Skaven stuff. So no new models there. They already have the current Skaven stuff in here. I've got some Skull Crushers, some Corn, Blood Crusher, Corn Demons on them. I've got Chariot, Gorby's Chariot. See some ogres in that picture. Some dryads and whatever, and I think that the dryads were even in the first book. So that's, for us old fantasy players that are a little worried about some of our models going away, well, they got pictures of them right here in the starter set. So if I'm buying the starter set 3 or 4 years from now, and I see those models, I'm going to be excited to go get them. I'm going to go, oh, hey, they actually have those too? I want to go get them. And so I think that's a good sign for us that are a little worried maybe that our models are going to go away. The War Scrolls, hints and tips. I think this is more like when to use abilities, random values, modifiers. This is kind of just telling us a little more about the War Scrolls themselves and how to read them, which I think I might have seen elsewhere, but it's good to see it in print here. And then just all of the War Scrolls, full page color, nice color War Scrolls. I will say, if you're playing the game, and having played a game, having to have them in book format like this is a giant pain. I would strongly recommend you go to the website, get gamesworkshop.com, and print off your War Scrolls and have them handy. You could even take them, like these are almost all half-page ones where you can fold them in half, so you just have your rules there, whatever it is. So you only have the War Scrolls for the stuff you're playing with right there handy, able to be read. Like, oh, hey, what do I need to roll on that guy? I don't want to have to flip through 84 pages to get to the back of this book to find my War Scroll. Then we get into the back of this book, Mighty Lord of Khorne, the Bloodscrater, which is kind of a new guy. Korgoth, which is new. The Bloodstoker, which is a new guy. Blood Warriors, which are basically chosen Khorne guys. Blood Reavers, which are basically look like Marauders of Khorne. And then the War Scroll Battalions. And this is when you're setting up, you can set up all the units in a War Scroll Battalion instead of setting up a single unit. Alternately, you can set up some of the units so you can just set it up all. It's basically telling you it makes it easier or longer. It gives you a title, an organization, lists the units that you need to make up the War Scroll Battalion. So this is kind of basically guidelines for things that you have to have. And guess what? The War Scroll Battalions for that are in here are exactly what is in the box. So you can basically buy the box, you have a battalion. One of the cool things with the battalion is that it gives you an additional special rule or two to make your models better, which gives you, kind of encourages you. One of the things I think when I look at Age of Sigmar with the other War Scrolls for the other existing armies that are out, you see a kind of a problem with the rules They're like, why do I ever want to take these core troops? And unless you're like, okay, well, hey, repeater crossbow or dark shards for the dark elves, those are really cool because they shoot. Or the wood elf archers, they're really cool, they shoot, and if they shoot in mass they get better rules or whatever. That's great. But why do I ever want to take an elf spearman? I don't know. It's not really clear. Like, why would I want to take an elf spearman when I can take a swordmaster? Other than the fact that maybe I don't have swordmaster models. But the War Scroll battalions that are at the end of the formations they have, that's what they call them I think in the stuff that they released online. But here it's called a War Scroll battalion. Those give you some special rules, and I can tell you in my game against Kenny Law from the combat phase that when he played with the dwarf formation, he had like dwarf warriors and crossbowmen and thunders, and it was a pretty full round, like what you would expect in an army kind of list. And it ended up, he had like 70-ish models on the board. It ended up being a real, the bonus of being able to reroll ones when you're hitting on 3s or you're hitting on 4s and on those to hit rolls was just huge. Like the power of a reroll in this game, it seems like it's a really big thing. So yeah, those formations, being able to take advantage of those formation rules, moral of the story, really cool, really good. Then the back cover, just a little blip, nothing big or fancy there. All right, that is the entire box. So make sure that you get onto our website at wiscodice.com. Make sure you check out the blog. And if you are in the Madison area and checking this out, Wisco Dice will be at Pegasus Games on June or July. It's not June. June's already over. July 18th to demo this set, Age of Sigmar. So yes, that means from when I'm recording today, I've got about 8 days to build and paint this entire set, to have it at the store, to be able to run demos. We're doing a free miniature paint and take. We're going to be doing demos. It's going to be a special themed demo battle that will feature the Sigmar warriors. Each player will control a Sigmar warrior, and the goal will be to kill as many of the undead that are coming out of this crazy necromantic portal that's controlled by a super necromancer in the center of the board, which is basically going to be the old I'm not sure what it is, the old graveyard kit that Games Workshop had, be in the center, and it'll have it to be on a great 4x4 Realm of Battle board set up, and it's going to look really cool, and it'll be fun. And your goal will be, we're going to play for about 2 hours, and you'll basically go until either you die or the time's called, and whoever kills the most undead will probably get it. The most undead bottles will probably get a prize. So we'll have a little kill tracker too for each player, and everybody in that demo will get a set of Wisco dice to kind of go home with. So that'll be cool too. Also, then we're going to open it up to open gaming for Age of Sigmar. So we will have the full starter on hand, ready to go for open gaming, as well as for Age of Sigmar games, as well as both myself and hopefully some folks from the store that'll be there able to help with any rules questions and answer any kind of questions or things that might come up that you would have. So we're gonna try to do our best to help launch Age of Sigmar with Pegasus Games here in Madison, Wisconsin. Pegasus Games at off of Dana Road on the west side of town, and you can catch their website at pegasusgames.com. Find the link at our website, wiscodice.com. All right, that's all. Thanks for watching. Peace out.